Back on the MSG 150 at home, presented by Chase, Bill Pito, Steve Alakette, Alan Hahn. And it is our pleasure to bring in Islanders coach Barry Trotz. Coach, thank you so much for your time. It's great to see you.
Absolutely. It's good to see everybody in New York and hope everybody's safe.
So, Coach, the latest news concerning the playoff structure is after the qualifying round, it's definitely going to be a best of 7 with a reseed. Of course, since 2014, the structure has been in a bracket. What's your take on having only a best of 5 in the qualifying round and then a situation where there's going to be reseeding?
Well, I think it's the NHL's done a real good job with the PA getting everything right. I think you're getting a bigger field. I think the last 11, 12 games, I think we were one of the teams that finished with like 68 games. So, I think the getting the brackets a little bit bigger allows fairness for everybody who would have made the playoffs. I think it's a best out of 5 is a real good format. I'd have been okay with a best out of 7 just because with being off as long as all the teams have been off. But I understand the timing and the all that. So, going after that to 4 of 7, to me that makes it legit. If you're going to come out of the reseeding, if you will, or the play-in, I should say, you're going to have to win 19 games. And, if you get to the playoffs there, you still got to win 16, which makes it legit for Stanley Cup. I think this Stanley Cup tournament, as I call it right now, is going to be fantastic. It's going to be very unpredictable just because we've been off for a long time.
What's it going to be like, not just coaching the guys to get in shape physically, but mentally to go from 0 to basically 100 miles an hour right out of the gate? As you said, it's going to be you got to win some games right away. Can't ease your way into this at all.
Yeah, I think it's the teams that can come into this with the right mental mindset is going to be terrific, or have a terrific chance. There's going to be some, I should say a lot of unpredictability. Everything from goaltending to special teams, your 5-on-5 play. I got an opportunity up here. I've been up in Canada a little bit and watching some of the World Cup stuff on TV. They've been replaying a lot of those games. And I remember it started getting me looking back and remembering some of the stuff that we went through with the World Cup. And we had a couple exhibition games and we had a couple of weeks to prepare. And you look at our systematic play, and we ended up winning the tournament. I mean, Carey Price was fantastic. And our systematic play probably wasn't as good as maybe that Team Europe. But Carey Price stole a couple games for us in the finals, and we ended up winning that tournament. So I think that some of those things will happen, especially early. There's going to be some upsets, but it's going to be strange. You're going to be possibly in the same hotel with a lot of the your teams that you may be going up against. The no fans. I mean, some players are driven by the noise and the atmosphere, and it's going to seem a lot different. So I think the mental game is going to play as much as the physical game in this whole tournament.
That's exactly where I want to go, Barry. It's fascinating to me watching your career where you've always seemed to be able to grab that chip that resides on the player's shoulder and have them weaponize it. When I think about the teams that you had in Nashville, Barry, they weren't overly skilled, but you guys were always a tough out. Think about going to Washington. That team took a lot of knocks for a lot of years for underperforming. You win a Stanley Cup there. Same thing coming to the Islanders under the cloud of John Tavares leaving. Is that going to be something that you're leaning on mindset-wise for your players when you get back?
Well, I think you've got to find something for your team in this whole strange year that we're having in 2020, is that you're going to have to embrace the uncertainty of going into this format, embrace the uncertainty of being in a bubble, if you will. Mm-hmm. So finding that chip, as you say, or that piece of the focus, if you will. The team that can stay the focus the longest, I think, in this will have a real good chance to win. I don't think the best team may win the Stanley Cup this year. It's going to be the team that can sort of keep it together a little, the longest will have a chance to win. And there's some, the 24 team format I think is fantastic. It's going to be fantastic for the game. because you could be in the 12th spot and you have a chance to win Stanley Cup. I mean, that's how close the league is. There's parity in the league. And if you hit it right, within 2 months, you could be Stanley Cup champions.
Now, Coach, you know that if and when the qualifying round starts, you're going to be taking on the Panthers. Do you already start your preparations for that? Or what's it like for you getting ready for a series, but you're not exactly sure when it's going to happen?
Well, I've sort of been preparing for this since probably about 3 or 4 days after we were, shut down as a league. I've been really good on a routine since day one. Figured if we were in a 24 team, a 22, 8 team, I did all of sort of the review on our team like I always do at the end of the year. Look back, what I would change, get basically my first draft of training camp done, and then look at some of the opponents. So a lot of that prep work I did a month ago, and now it's going over to again and making changes, and we're doing the Zoom calls like every coaching staff and working on certain things. Right now, what happens, most of it is on Florida now.
It will be almost 5 months since the last time your team played, when it does become official and you're on the ice playing for a game that matters. The team had been, all those months ago, had been struggling a bit right before the stoppage. I mean, do you feel like there really won't be any carryover because there's just been so much time? And are there some things, like you just mentioned, you've been watching film, you kind of closed the season, that you saw that you can make quick adjustments to with the current group that you have and be ready to play?
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword for us. One of the things I'm a real big believer in, down the stretch, we were, I think in our last 6 games, we were like 2-4. I thought our game was starting to come around, but we weren't winning those overtime games down the stretch, and our record really stumbled. We let teams get back into a situation that they actually pass us in points, but not on percentage. And I thought our game was going to come around because I a lot of times through experience, you could tell that your team is getting the right attitude. Sometimes during the year, your attitude as a group sort of veers off the rails a little bit, and I thought we did about a month before that, and we were just getting it back, and there was the struggles that you have to go through to really galvanize your team. So I thought I didn't have any concerns that we weren't going to make the playoffs if we would have continued playing. I was pretty confident that we were going to get on a roll, and I was actually loved the adversity for us right at that time, because it would hopefully catapult us through the last 10 games, because the game was coming around, and hopefully into the playoffs. So, but that's all washed away, and you get a new start. And just like every team, we're going to get healthy. We're going to get some key pieces back. A guy like Adam Pellich, who's a little bit under the radar in the league. Casey Cizikas, Cal Clutterbuck. We get an opportunity for Andy Green and JP Pajot to have a training camp with us, and probably feel a little bit more settled than they were when they joined us at the trade deadline.
All right. Best, Coach. Best to you and your family. Good luck to the Islanders. Hopefully things get started up soon and you guys can make a great run in the postseason. Thanks so much for your time.
Guys, you do a great job all the time. I know that stay safe in New York. We'll come and join you in a few days here. And I'm excited for the NHL, for the Islanders in that New York area. Everybody stay safe and God bless.
All right, Islanders coach Barry Trotz. We, of course, all love playoff overtime, but what do we think about overtime during the regular season? We'll discuss next on the MSG 150 at Home presented by Chase.